Welcome to the Real Talk with Missy and Fabio.
The honest side of real estate with all you must know to survive in this market.
Hello, everyone. It's been a long time.
This is our first podcast.
2023.
2023.
Oh my God. Happy New Year, guys.
And Miss Victoria is our
guest, our
guest.
friend.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about a little bit about her life and her goals and then the new business that you're going to start, isn't it? So this is more like starting a new business. So we're going to help people to, but you're young. You're the first young people that comes over here. Can you believe that?
Oh, I think she's like...
She's my age. And my generation.
She's not. Well, with that said, if you have joined us before, we are grateful that you came back. If you have not, please subscribe. And it helps people find us if you would just push that button and ring the bell and let us notify you each time we do a new podcast.
Sí. Y este año vamos a hablar algo en español para que no piensen que nada más hablamos inglés.
You're laughing in the background.
Right.
So go for it. No, go for it.
No, Victoria, just shoot. What is your background? Are you from around here?
She grew up here.
Did you really? I knew that,
Missy's like, I got this.
Well, there's not too many people that live already that grew up here.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Stafford, and then I grew up with a really big family. I've got 5 siblings.
Oh.
And I was inspired to go to school. I got my degree in forensic science, and I kept going along.
And she's not working for the FBI.
And I'm not working for the FBI.
But most everybody that does gets a degree comes back to Stafford, and they somehow or another get reeled into the security, venue or FBI.
Yeah, or lab.
But you kind of went a whole nother way.
I did. It's crazy.
Where did you go to?
So I went from getting a bachelor's in forensics to starting my own yoga business of April 2021, and this year I'm launching my sex coaching business.
So that you are very excited. I can see that in your eyes.
Yes,
so I would say because it's happened to me. Maybe so many people happens the same way.
They want you to start a sex coaching business?
No.
Okay.
I'm not that good at that. But anyway, what I was going to say is like, you go to school because your parents say like you have to go to school and stuff like that. It's just like, it's the way that it used to be. Now it's changing, So I went to college and I have a degree, but it wasn't my thing.
Yeah. You did it for your family.
Yeah, I did it for my family. And for, even that, you have to have a degree in order you have to be successful, you have to get a job and stuff like that. But then you find out later that that's not really your thing.
Right. You ask yourself, like, well, who said I needed to go to college to get a degree? Especially to work in something that you're very passionate about,
But science-based and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where you are even now.
Oh, yeah.
A little more on the alternative side, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've always had, even when I was going to school, in the back of my mind, I was like, I love fitness. I love the mechanics of how the body works. Mm-hmm. I took biochemistry in college, which now I like the way I look at food is differently. And now I'm teaching.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Colonial Forge.
Oh, okay. What year were you there?
I graduated 2012.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We had this discussion, I think. My son, Kyle, went there. But he was much older than me.
So how was the process that you say, okay, this is not my thing, now this is what I wanted to do? Or
how'd you figure out what you wanted to do?
How'd you figure it out?
Well, so after checking all the boxes, got the degree, after I got my bachelor's, I was, given an opportunity to work in contracting. It was like, here you go, here's your first big girl job. And I was like, all right, this is great. And it was a few months in, I started to feel very I was like, well, this is not exactly what I got my degree in, but I guess this is it. I finally gotten to the point where I've done everything, and this is my grown-up job. I work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I worked in a cubicle, and I did not fit very well.
That was a lot of fun then, I guess.
And so I just kind of went with it. I'm very grateful for those experiences because I got to travel a lot. I met a lot of great people. At the same time, there was just a part of me that was like, I don't feel like I quite fit. And I felt like little feelings of like a little bit of guilt. And I was like, am I supposed to feel this way? Like, why don't I feel like I love my job? And interesting enough, one time I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and instead of going out and like, Charleston's such a beautiful, beautiful town, lots of like really cool bars, and instead of investing that energy into like grabbing a drink with the group, I was like, I'm gonna go find an alternative. I really need to like do something different. Something needs to change because I'm not a fan of the way I'm showing up for myself or my work or my relationships. And so I did a yoga class on the beach. And I'll never forget it because from that class, the yoga teacher, she was, for the first time, she like looked directly at me, and it was like being seen for the first time. And it was like, I can see through your bluff. I can see
no BS there.
She's like, I can see you're having a rough time. Aww. And so I followed her email list, and she just shared such beautiful messages about like thriving and living to your fullest potential. And I started reading all the books, and I was like, wow. Suddenly I started going from this, living like this, to slowly starting to like peel back these horse blinders and being like, holy cow, there's a whole universe out here. And what am I going to do about it? And interesting enough, the things that you're thinking about, they come about. Yes. So I'm like in this job, and I'm like, I'm not showing up as fully. I can feel it felt like moving in sludge. And the universe is like, I hear that. I hear you. We're going to let you go. And I got let go. I was like, wow.
There you have it. Now okay. Right?
You called it.
I was like, you called? And so after I was let go from that job, at that moment, I immediately was like, I got to find a job. I got to work. I got to make money and pay bills. And so I found a job working in a lab, which went along with my degree. And I was like, cool, I finally found my purpose. No. No, that's 3 times the charm. So I worked in a lab. Again, great experience. It made me very humble and very grateful. At the same time, I was continuing with my yoga practice. I became very curious and inspired to become a teacher. And so I went through yoga teacher training while working in this lab. And I started posting more on social media because I'm like slowly starting to learn a lot about myself and becoming more aware of like this very colorful, vivid universe. And again, it was like something's missing. I still don't feel fulfilled even with this like output of work I'm doing for this company. And I found my passion in teaching. I found my passion in inspiring others, and I was like, what would that look like? What does this look like? What if I could run a business? Like, can I do that? Am I allowed to do that?
Isn't that sad that you have to ask yourself, are you allowed?
Yeah, because like for so long as children, we're instilled with these beliefs that, at some point or another we were told we weren't allowed to.
Right, or you got the message. Whether you were told that verbally or that your environment gave you that message, your parents or your house or your school or it's sad.
But I guess because we talk about a lot in the coffee time that we have, it was the meditation, the yoga help you to kind of in a way to don't be afraid.
Yes.
Because that's what I'm doing, with that meditation. I'm trying to. That's what we were talking about. That I'm trying to get my meditation to be, another level. Which is it's like working out. You have to kind of practice, be consistent.
Yes, definitely. I with the meditation and the yoga, and that's something that's also that I bring into my work now. It allowed me in the mornings, even when I worked at the lab, even when I was working at the government, that was like, this is my time. This is my hour to really hone in. And what's great about meditation, like when you daydream or use your imagination, you're meditating. You're creating a visualization of a reality that actually exists, that can actually be yours. It's just a matter of like, are you ready to initiate the steps to take it? Yeah. And I find that a lot of people have that, like, there's this, either it's a brick wall or it's a glass ceiling that's like, I don't know if I can. Am I allowed to?
Are they afraid?
Am I afraid? What do I have to lose?
Clubhouse this morning. It was about.
What?
I mean, that she was brutal. The whole crowd this morning was brutal, as you would say, brutally honest.
I think so.
That we need to look in the mirror sometimes and say, "What are you afraid of?"
Oh yes.
And when you look at yourself and you ask, "What are you afraid of?" Maybe you really don't even know what it is you're afraid of, but it's that it's that wall that we put up for ourselves that doesn't allow us to proceed.
I think at the same time, it's really limitation that we come from our family, our parents, their parents, grandparents, everybody. Just and then we got it, and we just transmit to our kids too. It's everything is about the limitation we have in our mind that we cannot do something, or we have to do certain way.
Or we're comfortable.
Oh, we are very comfortable.
If you're comfortable where you are, how would you go ahead and put yourself out there and say, I'm going to do this, and then fail, but you only get better if you do fail, right?
Yeah.
It's safe. It's safer just to kind of hang back. So good for you for not.
I have scraped my knees, and also
everybody does. Anybody that's there has not fallen multiple times.
Well, I would say to you, the good thing about it is that you find out what you really love, and to be able to change your life, because it takes us a lot. To me, it took me like a long time. I'm old already when I got it,
Stop.
But I say, oh my God.
I'm gonna quit if you keep saying that.
Well, I'm a mature guy, a young guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
You didn't know what you wanted, baby. You didn't know. I mean, it's awesome that she has that. You maybe now you know. I know you're on a mission now.
Yeah, I'm kind of
and it changes all the time. Like
that's right.
I thought at the time that's what I thought that's what I wanted, to be a scientist in a lab, and then. But in the back of my mind, it was
what
like,
were you thinking?
Right? I thought this was what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and you're right though, and I love what you said about being comfortable, because I would find myself at these like roadblocks, and I was like, I'm not quite ready yet, or it was that fear of failure. It was that fear of like when I launched the business, and I was like, oh, this is going really well. Like with the yoga, I did full moon experiences. I was teaching at the beach. And then I got to a point in my relationship, I was like, things were not working out. And I was like, well, do we keep this up? Do we keep this lagging behavior? Do we stay comfortable? Or do we make this tough decision, which was, for me at the time, it ended in a divorce. Yeah. And it was that, do I stay comfortable and just kind of go with the notions? We could both feel that we were growing apart, but what were we doing to stay together, and what we would gain from separating. And then we ended up both gaining what felt like for us was being free, being free to grow into our own individual persons. And then my health got better, my business got better, my experiences became more pleasurable. I was like, oh man, it's insane what is beyond that, like that really hard, like that hard leap, the big leap. It's like, I'm afraid. And there's a saying that's like, when you leap or take that jump, there will be a net to catch you. And that net is like it's like the soft, warm light that's like, I got you.
Yeah. I find out now that before I used to be kind of really, I wasn't really pro coach, because I thought I know what I have to do or whatever, because the coach is going to always guide you what you're supposed to be doing. The thing is, sometimes.
I think you
just need somebody to the problem is we need sometimes somebody else that we can be accountable, so we can be able to do what we have to do. So do you feel like because that's a problem, are you coachable?
I said I wasn't, but I think a lot of people think you're not coachable because you're arrogant and you think you know it all,
your ego.
But I don't think it's that. I think if you're like, I don't know. I just to be comfortable and to be. I don't want anybody to tell me what to do.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why we do in a way. I think because like you, I don't fit in a cubicle. I will totally readily admit I do not want to be at the desk.
Yeah, but at the same time, you are willing to go out and just stay out of the comfort zone, just get away from there, order to be successful. That's I mean, and I don't want to be say like a successful. It's only about money. It's not about money, because sometimes you make money and you don't kind of appreciate what you're really getting every day of the life. That's what I was talking to you before. That's what I'm looking for. My purpose is to enjoy every day, even that I know where I want to go, and I don't gonna stop. But I want to enjoy every day, because sometimes with the run and everything, and everybody just saying like, oh my God, we have to work more and more, and then you start worrying, oh my God, I don't have a client and stuff, all that stuff. It gets you, like overwhelming. So that's what I'm trying to kind of relax. That's why I took like a meditation and start getting my meditation in my routine life.
So your world, now that you're being coached, or you're starting your business, and you kind of, how do you see your next year? How do you see this year going? What's your plan of attack?
Oh my gosh, I am.
What's your at the end of the year? What are you thinking?
At the end of the year? Oh my gosh.
And let's work backwards.
Let's see. So it's like December 31st, 2023. Oh, that's what you're saying, work backwards, right?
I know, that's what I'm saying. And it's hard to do it that way.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool if you can.
I love, I have a mood board too at home, and I think the best way for me to answer is I think about how 2022 went. Like, I went in, like, just thinking about where I was January 2022 when we had that ice storm. I don't think I saw any of what I experienced of 2022 happen. And
so you mean you went a whole nother way, or things happened that you had no thought process that they would ever enter into your life?
I think so. The first 3 months of 2022, I was kind of like still going with those notions of like, but I started like really questioning like where I was, my work, my passion, and my relationship. And the moment I had made that choice to, dissolve and go through the divorce process, and then that's when I moved to downtown. And then that's when I was like, I went from a 2-income home to a 1-income, so I gotta start working. And I also, while working, I had to really get to know who I was, like, who is this woman?
Yeah.
Without having that person, and without having the expectations of where I've been, I was like, what now? Blank slate.
Isn't it interesting how something really, it takes like a jarring moment in your life, a breakup or an injury or a disease, to make people really realize, oh my God, I don't have the rest of my life. What am I waiting for? Why am I not doing this today?
Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I started the business back in 2021, because I was like, I want to be able to get to the end and look back and be like, I am so glad I did that. I'm so proud of myself. And then last year I was like, even in December of 2022, I did a whole reflection of the year, and I was like, I am so proud.
Aww.
I'm so proud.
Well, that's awesome.
Did you clap yourself?
I hug myself. I love myself.
Well, that's what they say, that we have to kind of, a small win, we have to just say, oh my God.
Well, that's what everybody says. Oh, I haven't done enough. I need to do more.
Yeah.
Really? Look at your numbers.
Yeah, that's what
Look
I'm
at what
talking
you've done just in a week. I think, like, I felt this morning, like, God, I'm exhausted. And I don't feel like I've done anything. But then I went back and looked at the calendar, everything that we've done this week, too. And it was like, okay, so we did, like, 3 or 4 days of really hard work. But it's not, we don't have the reward today.
Yeah, that's true.
So you don't feel like
you don't feel like
accomplished
you're doing
anything.
it, yeah.
But yet you have to give yourself the pat on the back and the hug too.
Yeah.
So to tell the rest of the world kind of what it is you're going to do, what you're offering, and how people can get a hold of you. And we'll put a link for you for your business and stuff on the podcast, so people, Spotify, so they can find you also.
Oh, awesome. So I'm really, really excited. So this month I am launching my first ever sex coaching business. And for right now, these are for the ladies. Ladies, I'm here to help you overcome and express and own that confidence and harness the power behind your pleasure by learning to recreate this romancing relationship with yourself. And that is what I became very passionate about as I was going through the experiences post-divorce of learning how to rebuild my lifestyle. And the biggest thing that helped me was learning to love myself. And I'm super, super I'm passionate that I've been able to overcome so much and build healthier boundaries and attract in more experiences that me 2 years ago, if you would have asked me that, I'd be like, no way. There's no way I'm going to go to like have dinner at this really nice Michelin restaurant in New York City. There's no way I'm gonna like go to Paris by myself.
Aww.
And I did all those
Good
things
for you.
because
You did them for you.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So I became inspired. I got a business coach, and we're creating this coaching program that is igniting this passion of mine to go out and help something that is kind of hindered. It's kind of taboo. And when
it's perfect to do what everybody else thinks is taboo.
I know, I want to be a rebel.
Well, it looks like it.
Join
Sounds
the
like
rebellion.
it.
Join the rebellion.
Well, that's what I always said. If people are swimming this way, I'm going that way. And I always thought my next hashtag is going to be Missy Unfiltered.
Ooh, I like that.
He's going, oh my God.
Well, that's what we talked about that one time at coffee.
I just get so tired of having to
do something like with my. I also offer private yoga private yoga instruction. And one of my goals with my clients is you're experiencing your wellness goals beyond the mat, off the mat. So yes, we are in the practice.
Well, it's not just on the mat.
Right.
That's the hard thing. The mat's probably the last thing. You go through all this other crazy that this is sort of a release, but there's a pile of poopy stuff underneath that sometimes. I think. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So your seminar is going to be, I'm sorry, Zoom, or it's going to be personal, or how are you going to do it?
So my coaching program is virtual.
Virtual?
I have I'm going to have a 3-month program, and I've got 4 spots available. And you'll be working with me. We'll have 6 sessions together, and we'll be working one-on-one virtual. And we'll start, first we'll go over like what it is that you're looking for. Like what is it, like what do you want? And you may not know what you want. I still want to know.
I guess there's a lot of people that have the same issue, you know.
I didn't know what I wanted 3 years ago either. And then it's also learning to build these healthier boundaries. And the biggest boundary you can start with is the one you have with yourself. And once you're able to build that, then you can take that out into your relationships, into the workplace.
That's what I was
how
thinking.
you handle money.
Do you have a little psych degree going on there?
A what?
A little bit of psychology, at least.
I do a lot of I do a lot of research on neuro-linguistic programming, unconscious and versus subconscious. That's where all those limiting beliefs come into. A lot of ancestor stuff. Like we're carrying a lot of stuff from our moms, their moms were from moms.
One of my dear friends, Karen Huckabone, called me yesterday. She goes, I'm coming. I want to stay with you or be at your house on the 26th and the 27th of April. And I'm like, okay, cool. We can celebrate birthday. And she goes, she was on her way to drop off some stuff at the university her parents went to. And she goes, Missy, you would die. Her mom was in a sorority. And the sorority songs were, we're going to find a man, he's going to be rich. You know, she said, because it's in the 50s.
Yeah.
So that whole culture, you know, we're going to go to college, but our mission is to find a man, you know. She said, it would make you crazy. And I said, but that's what our moms, you know, we all grew up. They grew up in their culture or their timeline. We grew up in our culture or our timeline. And same with these kids now. It's just what is happening during that time period that you kind of get molded into.
Yeah.
And you think, well, what the hell is happening to me?
You're like, I know I'm going against the tradition, but I kind of like this. I'm actually really excited. I'm scared, but I'm excited.
Awesome.
Stay open and curious. Yeah.
Everything new, sometimes, you know, people kind of be freaking out, but that's part of what we are.
But
you have to go.
It's really funny, though. I think that you attract. I mean, all of us have that little something in them that says, that's not what I want. And for someone to shine a little light, even if it's way far away, that's what we kind of want. It's like bugs. We're all going to be drawn to you, you know, in the nightlight because it's like you are saying and doing what we want to do, you know, but we're afraid to.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that is your light will shine super bright and you'll just attract all those people that really want to say what you're saying and do what you're doing, but they're afraid to. Yeah. So you'll just blow up. I know you will. Great success.
Thank you.
No, it's true. It's true.
I don't want to take the class anyway, but
you can't.
I can't.
That's even worse,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And that's part of my goal is for right now is working with women one-on-one because that's where I've done my personal experiences wrapped in with the research.
Yes.
And eventually I will build on a program for the men, and then eventually I'll build a program for couples.
Well, you know what I think too, and just to plant the seed for later, the kids.
The kids.
You know, I think a lot of times, especially with the military culture, the kids don't, you know, you've moved and your dad is gone or your mom is serving, and it's like, who am I? Yeah. You know, as a kid, you really don't, in the military culture, you don't know who you are. You don't know where you're supposed to be. You don't know where's your home. You know, we're grandma and grandpa, but you haven't really seen them.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
the kids are the ones too that are like our next seed that we need to be watering and loving on a little bit too.
Yes, nourishing the seed.
Yeah, they're taking notes.
I know. I'm like,
So I want to ask one more question then too, and I know you're a business coach. We all know Gordon tremendously,
yeah.
and we support him. And so I would love to mention him too because I watched you. I mean, just 6 months ago, and look at her now.
Yeah.
It's like our kids growing up.
Well, I think that she's just this. What I say? She's teaching us that you can do whatever you want to do. Just
matter
forget
what.
about back history and stuff like that. Whatever all the things that we have in our background and stuff, and just move forward. I know that's not gonna be very comfy right now, but it's you're making it happen.
Yeah.
That's
I think
the
a
most
lot
important.
of people blame it on their family. Or
Oh, yeah.
and truly you're showing that your family is important to you, yes, and what they think is important, but you found you. You found a direction that you're going to go in.
Yes.
So
I've had wonderful conversations with my parents because that was one of the things that kind of held me back. It was like, I'll never forget. I was like, I'm getting, I was talking to Gordon. I was like, I'm so excited. He's like, but does the world know?
mm-hmm.
Does the world know what you have to offer? And I was like, no. And he's like,
Does your father know?
does your father know what you're doing? And I was like, yeah. And I remember having coffee with a good friend, and he was like, just, accepting that. And I was like, just go out. It's so much harder to work ourselves up
Mm-hmm.
than it is when you initiate that action. Once we start taking that action, and I'm like, that wasn't so hard. I literally all I had to do was press post.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking
all
about.
I have to
do.
Fear.
Well, with some of your posts, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's not quite what I would have thought would come from this young lady.
Well, you're very, models and stuff like that. So I'm kind of looking and say, oh, yeah. I mean, your personality doesn't kind of look like, it's completely different.
So
You're
that's
more
right.
ongoing.
You can't put us in a box, Fabio, whether you want to or not.
I try.
So what'd your dad say?
They were surprised. They were like, wait, what? And at the same time, though, we have this wonderful relationship where it's like, at the end of the day, we love each other. They love me. And they're like, I just want you to be happy and healthy. In 2022, today, I am happy. I'm the healthiest I've ever been compared to where I was a year ago.
And they can see that.
And they can see that. People can feel that. I can authentically say, and I can authentically promise you that. Like, when I say I'm happy, I'm like, I am. Like,
isn't it funny? I think, too, like the most successful psychologists, coaches, family counselors are the people who've lived it.
mm-hmm.
They've all lived it, and they understand it, and they firsthand experience, and that's where they can come from, a really a strong strength of sharing and education then too. Well, good for you. We're super proud of you. Maybe I'll be one of your clients. Fabio's like, sign her up.
I don't know. But anyway, we want to give you a thank you to be with us.
I want her to tell a little bit more too, just how they can reach, please.
Oh, yeah. Before.
Oh, yeah. So I am on Instagram at Victoria_Icenhower. On Facebook, you can follow my page, Victoria Icenhower Lotus Lifestyle. I can also be reached.
I love this lifestyle. What is it?
Lotus Lifestyle.
Lotus Lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is, the lotus is like blooming through the mud and becoming this beautiful, delicate flower, regardless of the origins of where you've come from, which for them is like the swamp.
Okay,
So
that's very cool.
it's like this rebirthing process. Yeah.
Very cool.
And I could also be reached. My email is victoria.lotuslifestyle@gmail.com. And I have all my links on my Instagram, on Facebook. In the future, I will have a website, but for now, I have a little temporary.
Do we see a
link.
book coming down the road?
I can tell that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've been told to start writing everything
You
down.
see?
Uh-huh.
And we talked about like making a podcast. It's for me like this year I see
Baby
myself.
steps. So.
Yeah, and like you say it, and like that could be 3 years from now. The book is published, the podcast is growing.
Mm-hmm.
My focus is really getting more connected with our community and becoming that face where people are like, wait, what does she do? I want to get in on that. I want
Yes.
to learn more. I'm curious, and it's been a beautiful.
That should be like hashtag what does she do?
What did she do?
I love it. I love it.
So now we can say goodbye because
Yes.
we have a lot of stuff to talk to you. So this is going to be the first,
Yes.
but we need you after
A.
after the seminar, your back, feedback to say, whatever.
That would
Because
be
that's,
great.
Yeah, because that's really very interesting.
6 months from now, it's like,
Yeah.
how that's going.
I'm not going to be here, but she's going to be here just asking you questions.
Where are you
stuff
going
like
to
that.
be?
Just from behind the camera.
I don't
so.
know. You'll be here.
Yeah.
Anyway, people, we want you to support Miss Victoria. If you have any questions, we'll have the links here for you, or you can reach out to us. And again, this is just Fabio and Missy, or Missy and Fabio, just
Whatever you want to call it.
bringing you guys our entrepreneurs from Fredericksburg. And if you have any questions, you also can put them in the comments there. But we would really love for you to subscribe and come back next time.
Yes, please. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So glad you joined us today.
Please message us on Facebook, and Fabio and I will respond to all your questions as soon as possible,
Find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast.
or anywhere you listen to your podcast.